Alright, we're back with some more Rising Lords. I want to give this game a little bit more playtime, as we didn't progress to getting a lot of the later unit types yet in the game, and I'd like to at least do that before we move on from things. Now, the save that I have might be a little messed up. It will put us at the end of the combat, and hopefully it doesn't crash, but if it crashes, we might have to do something else. I'm a little under the weather, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, so it puts me at the end of the combat, although this is not where I put the save. There's like a bug in the game. Maybe it's been fixed since, but that's where our save is at the moment, so we're just gonna have to live with it. Alright. So thankfully, not really much variance going to happen with the save though, because it's just that one enemy left, and archers are going to be able to kill him because he only had like, what, 2 guys left, so not too hard for us to do. Okay. Gives you a good idea where we left off, though. Yeah, so this is what caused the crashes for me the other time, is this message would pop up. I guess not quitting out of the game and coming back in, it doesn't remember that I've already done this once or twice or 3 times before, so thankfully it didn't result in a crash, though. So, we conquered that region. Let's just get rid of that. We get our loot, which is the same as before, so nothing really has changed, which is good. Okay, we do have a trader here, which I may want to take advantage of, but we'll see with that. Let's go up to this region. Well, first off, I don't have a lot of people to use here. The only really choice I have to put this fire out. Now, it's not a bad fire. Maybe because of the rain. But yeah, let's fix some things going on here. So, triple tithe, not necessary. Let's put that down to at least a quarter tithe. Full normal rations. We are okay to eat the sheep and cows because we have a decent number of them. We have a lot of grain, so we are going to have to miss out on some of the harvest here, but considering how much grain we have here, I'm not really too worried about it. Also, the people have really dropped, probably because we killed some of them, but let's grab 2 and put them on the fire. It's not a big fire, so I suspect it won't burn down, but let's just try and make sure that's the case. I can't spare any more people. I have to have at least 1 person on the harvest, I feel like, to get away with it, and I really don't want the sheep and cows to die, so we'll put people there. And that's pretty much all we got. Okay. So that takes care of the management we need there. Let's go ahead and open this up, because we now have a decent number of regions. I'm going to immediately take our army and start moving them back towards the border in between our regions. So my goal is to build up the army. What I'd like to do with the army, I think first step, I'd like to replace the peasants with spearmen. Peasants, they're good cannon fodder to fill out spaces in the battlefield to protect your archers, but they're not very good. So I think it's time we upgraded them. Alright, let's do our management over here. I don't think there's really a whole lot I have to do. I have the 3 men in the field. I have 1 working iron, which we currently kind of don't need, but I'm probably going to switch up my production here in a second. We have 2 on cows, which is not necessary. At the time I was doing it because we were losing cows without it. but I could probably get away with pulling one off. We have 3 on wood production because I did want to do stuff with buildings, and that is one of the things that we need. Especially I was going to do walls if I remember correctly. So let's first change up the production. So I built some light armor. I'm going to switch that over to spears so we can replace. I also have a lot of gold here, so I think one thing I'm going to do is I may buy, because I'd like to get some knights. We don't have a lot of horses because I'm not getting a merchant over here. I would buy horses if I got a merchant over here, but that's not what's happening. But by the time I get here, it'll take me a turn to get to the border, a turn to get to the village. I'll probably draw my spearmen at that point. A turn to get to this border, a turn to get to here. So that's what? Maybe 4 turns there? So by the time they get here, we may have... Oh, hello, Ursi. We might have maybe somewhere in the 20s of horses, so we might be able to get some knights, maybe not a lot of them. And by then, I could switch over production to armor and swords, but I might want to buy one of those things. Another thing I can do, because we talked about maybe pulling this guy. Yeah, see, cows go down a lot if I pull him, and I don't understand why. I'm not going to worry about it, though, because we have 400 cows. I'm going to put him down here so we're building more spears, higher rate. Don't really have anyone else to pull unless I want to pull the iron, which we kind of don't need. Yeah, let's pull the iron. So we're going to do a lot of spear production here. And then once we get to the border, I'm going to switch that over to back to light armor production. And I might be able to switch over a good chunk of the spearmen. Let's just take a quick look at our army. How many would we need? I could always reduce the number. So I would need 116 spears. Okay. So with that in mind, we're producing 90 right now. Let's talk to the merchant. So we'd be at 95, so I need 11 more spears, if my math is correct. And then armor and stuff. I don't know where this merchant's going to go, so I think we should buy a lot of this stuff while we can. So let's say we can get 25 knights by the time all this is said and done. So 25. Come on. There we go. 25, and then we want to have equivalent swords, so 17 swords. If I need more than that, that is what it is, but at least we're a little bit prepared in case we get the capacity to do the knights. Now, this is going to cost me a lot of money. We could sell some stuff to curb that. Looks like wool sells for a decent amount, and I have an alright amount, so I'm going to sell, let's say 100 wool. Okay. What else could we sell? It'd be in this region, so sheep and cows. I don't know if I want to sell. Wheat we don't have a lot of. Yeah, I don't know if there's really a whole lot else I could sell. I could sell the iron, but I prefer not to. Oh well, that curbs some of the cost. Maybe I sell some more wool. Because we're getting a really steady production, and I don't often draw from it just at the moment. So, yeah, 150. That'll do. We get good income, so I'm not too worried about spending a lot of money. I just want to keep some money on hand in case we can afford mercenaries, and the mercenaries actually show up where we want them to be. Okay, let's do some more management here. Or at least take a peek at the management. So this region down here seems to be working just fine. A lot of wheat. Our harvest is working as we need it. Population may not be growing all that well. But, nah, it is what it is. Until the happiness gets up, which we are working towards, Not really a whole lot we can do about that. So I'll just keep it on quarter tithe. Maybe after the next turn we can up that. What are we on tithe-wise up here? Double tithe? We could probably up that to triple tithe. Yeah, triple tithe works for me. Okay. So we have one more region to look at. Yeah, we have a bunch of idle people over here. So I think we just built the church, which is why we have so many idle people. Housing. Oh yeah, I should check the housing situation. Well, these guys have 1,300 people and almost 1,200 people, so not really a need right now. Happiness is really good, so double tithe is fine. We are doing okay on the cows, but we are dropping a little bit. This is a place where we're producing horses over there. We could put one person on the cows. And then there you go. It glows green because it's not the most efficient choice, but that's alright. We'll put one person on stone because this is the only source of stone. And we'll put one person on wood production. And walls, I think we're still a ways away from being able to do. Which area would I want to put walls around? That's a good question. I mean, this one's kind of on the front line, and it would probably be so for a while, because I'm not likely going to take this region. But then again, this is neutral, and neither is my opponent likely to take it. So, I think this is fairly safe. We do have an enemy down this way. An AI guy. This is the only AI that has not expanded. I forget. I know Bert's our aggressive one. This is Henry. I forget what Henry was set up for. This might be our economic dude. Maybe he's just sitting back and trying to do what he can with his economy. Yeah, so this here is another region that's not really easy for our opponents to take. And then there's not gonna, I mean, unless this guy down here goes in a very roundabout path. So I'd say of our settlements, this one's probably the most in danger, but it's also the one we have expanded the very least. So that's our town center. I'm trying to think, like, how would I build up? Maybe I would do a smithy. Until this gets more population, it's really not worth our time. Maybe we just build some walls up here. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. So, right click, wood wall, and then you just kind of pick the hex side. So I'm not likely going to expand in some of these directions, especially towards the woods. I don't even know if I can. So we'll get some walls. That would be it for now, because that cost me a lot to do. So it'll take a couple turns for them to do that, but they'll get on it. That's why we're doing as much wood production as we are, because it takes a long time to build the walls up. Did I build a wall here? That might have been a mistake. I could always expand this way, though, so it's not a big deal. Okay, well, in any case, I think we've done everything we need to do for the turn, so let's end turn. Yeah, we didn't even spend one turn of income. You're right. Earlier. And we even increased the income with the taxing, so I might spend more aggressively if we get a merchant somewhere else. What I'd really like is I'd like a merchant to go to the town to our east, the one with the horses, so I can just buy a bunch. A beggar has spawned in Rose. Okay, so we don't have enough housing. Well, I'm about to bring our army down and recruit here. Although, no, I'm not going to be recruiting. Okay, so the beggars are bad. They're going to be a drain on everything. So, wow, our population has just exploded here. Well, it's probably because Angelcy is our happiness is so high, we're probably drawing people from everywhere else, which is kind of a problem. Let's switch around here. So, this is our region down in the south. Oh. Lord Henry conquered... Okay, so Henry's going out of control. He's as big as I am now. It's funny because Bert was the aggressive guy. And he was the first guy to expand, but he's kind of petered out since. And I feel like that's kind of what happens to the aggressive AI. Yeah. That is true. I think you're right that building walls is probably kind of a waste of time. Just continuing to expand and using that expanded territory as a defense is very, I think, good strategy. Yeah, so I think Henry was the knightly guy, but I could be wrong on that. I forget. I know Bert was the aggressive one, and that's the only one I remember. So you actually are gaining population. That's good to see. So your happiness has gotten up enough. I think we want you to tick up one more time. And the advantage of this region is we do have adjacent regions to draw population from, so that's nice. Where we're probably hurting... Okay, so this region is also above the housing. Yeah, so we're drawing migration here. The one that's going to hurt is this one. No, not this one. Anglesey. Yeah, up here. How did they do? Because there's no way that they're not going to have negative migration. Because the only region next to them is mine, and it has really high happiness. So... that's kind of not good, but it is what it is. Well, we do have our 2 people that put out the fire. That's good. Where do we send them? Well, I could put 1 over in the field. Any more than that would be a waste because we lost some of the crops from not having enough in the field. I guess we just start working on this bramble, or we get more wood production. You can move food to other regions. I don't know about people. That's actually probably a good idea, too, because this region has, what, 6,000 food? Now, I don't know where I would send it. I also don't know how much time it takes. Oh, we do have the merchant in the right place. Excellent. I'll do this now while I'm thinking about it. But let's see. Let's test it out, because there's a lot of wheat up here, right? So what region is this? This is the one I can't pronounce. So we want to send the wheat down here so we can bring it to market, right? And this is... oh, no, we're currently here. Anglesey, that's it. Yeah, okay, so we want from there to there. Okay. Let's just click there. Let's do the food. So... I'm guessing this is your initial starting point. I'm a little confused with this interface. Let's go to this elite region. Ah, okay, so this is the region we're sending to. So we want... is there an easier way to do this? I'm guessing it's a... yeah, okay, that's where we want to send it. We want to send wheat. We're going to send quite a lot. We'll try 500. It would help if I paid attention to how much this location had. So let me click on that. So we're in the right region. Okay, so I have 3,923. Okay, so I'm going to do 500, and let's see if that goes up right away. Because if it does, you know, let's even do 1,000. I'm gonna have to hold this down for a while. It does speed up the longer you hold it down. It'd be more convenient if you could just type in. Maybe you can. No, you can't. Alright, that's fine. It says oh, and it costs us money to do too. That sucks. Alright, never mind. We wouldn't even barely make any money back because wheat doesn't sell for very much. Oh well. Thank you for catching that. Okay, so horses. You don't sell horses. Oh no, you do. I forget. The icon's different. It's this thing. Okay, so it costs 10 apiece. And they do have... okay. I'll have to take a look at that. I just wanted to see what the interface was like because I've never done it. But we'll buy as many as I feel like I can afford, realistically. Now, the other problem is, can we actually... Well, it doesn't hurt to have them. It will be like an amount that we can use later. That would almost bankrupt me. Let's go to 100. That will probably be a good number. It's unlikely I'll be able to use that many. And I can also buy the armor and weapons to try and get us more knights. So let's do that. Okay, that's more money than I have. So let's say we'll do 40. Or maybe 30. 30. I might not be able to buy all that many swords, but let's see. I'll balance it. Maybe 25 of each thing. And then we'd have a solid 50 knights, perhaps. Okay. That works for me. And we can always sell as well. So we have a decent amount of grain, and we're about to get almost 1,500 here. So I'm going to sell some grain. Fortunately, it does not sell for a whole lot, but I'll sell 500. That'll help mitigate the cost a little bit. And maybe allow me to buy more weapons here. So let's do 30 swords, 30 armor. I'm probably going to sell more wheat as well. Is there anything in this region I feel like I really need? Not really. I'm gonna buy up some light armor. Let's say 20. That'll do. I'm happy with that. Alright. So we now have those horses. The growth of horses should increase dramatically because we have more of them. Let's go to our army, because we want to continue to move that so I don't forget. Move it over to the village over here. Okay. Let's go to the merchant up here. We just have a bunch of grain we're going to sell. So let's hold down that button. The buttons here are minimum maximum. I don't want to sell all of our wheat. Maybe a good 2,000. And then I could always buy more weapons and stuff as a result of this income. That's fine. That's good enough. So what do we want more of? I'm going to switch this production over to light armor. So let's go with spears. So I need 116, so 10 spears. And we'll switch over to the light armor. And if I have more light armor than I need, that's fine, because I can also convert archers into crossbowmen. Oh, I'm selling spears. Whoops. I need to change the interface. Yeah, thank you for catching that. Oh, he doesn't have very many spears. I might want to go over to the other merchant to see if he has any. I hope it's not the same pool. I'm also noticing not many swords. This might be the merchant we dealt with last time, though, and he hasn't had time to get it up. Yeah, light armor. I'm going to buy all that. Okay. That'll do for me. Alright, let me go over to the other merchant and see if he has more weapons. He does. Okay, so we needed to buy a little bit more spears, so we'll buy 6, which is how many we need. We'll buy pretty much as much light armor as I feel like I can afford. The switching over our archers to crossbowmen, I think, is nice. Can't quite afford that. Not sure why it lets me key it in if I can't afford it, but do 100. We can just afford that. Okay. So we have a bunch of weapons. We'll be able to expand the army quite a bit. Let me switch my my production over here to light armor. And I think we'll be able to afford maybe switching over one of the archers to a crossbowman. With that. Now, I do have to figure out what I'm going to do with the beggar, because that's a problem. My housing is way behind. Looks like I didn't build a wall here, so it'll work out. Let me see. What can we do? I think the amount, like what buildings you can build, does expand over time. Also, I know you can build a castle. I don't know what you need for that. Well, in any case, we have a church. We have a smith. Having another smith would just allow us to have more than one thing production-wise. We don't have the town guard, which gives us a little bit of garrison. Spearmen in particular. Which would add to the bowmen and knights that we get. But that only gives us 250 housing, which is not anywhere near what we need. We could upgrade a couple places to get our housing that way. The one thing I find confusing is the upgrade here. It says it houses 500 people, but we know that the town center houses more than that already. So the question is, does it increase the amount of houses or not? And this is one of those things that they really need to improve in this game. When you do an upgrade, it should say current houses plus this many houses so that it's clear. Because, like, for example, if I come over to my manor over here, it currently gives me 500 houses. Upgrading would go to 750, which is only improving it by 250, which is nowhere near what I need. And to upgrade it, it would be more expensive than if I just built a new one, right? A new manor would be way cheaper. I am going to build a manor because we really need the housing. And it's also pretty quick to build. So I'm going to go with that. We need people, though. I'm going to pull them off wood production. Wait, didn't I put it down? What happened? You need 140 gold. Oh, I don't have the money. Okay, let's go talk to our merchant. Didn't pay attention to that bit. We'll go sell a little bit more wheat. Okay, sell. We'll sell, like, I don't know. We only need a little bit. So I'll sell 200. Alright. Yeah, additional. That'd be nice. Okay, let's do this. Oh, I don't have enough wood now. Alright, let's talk to the merchant again. I'm a little scatterbrained today. As I said, I'm a little under the weather, but it is what it is. I'll just buy all of his wood. Now, I do have to raise more money, so I'll sell some more wheat. I mean, we still have a lot here, so this is really not going to hurt too bad. Yeah, 250 will do. Yeah, just pretty much evened out our price, so we're not having to pay anything. Okay, that should be enough now. I do have a housing crisis somewhere else, though, so this is somewhat problematic. But it's not a housing crisis to the point that I have a beggar, like the problem is here. Okay, so if I put 2 workers on this, it will get done in 2 turns. If I was able to put 4 workers on it, it would be done even faster. So, you know what? I'm desperate enough that I want to do that. So we're actually going to lower our armor production a little bit, which may mean I'm not able to get the archers upgraded next turn. If that's what happens, that's what happens. But I want to get this built as fast as possible because I feel like this migration is not going to slow down. We're going to lose some population due to the massive health drop due to the winter, but Okay, now that we're all done with that, let's take a look at our other regions. So this region's fine. We don't really have to change anything. It's working. I mean, all we want it to do is produce. When a merchant comes around, we'll sell wheat because we have a ton here. But this is just economy for us, really, at the moment. So, yeah, that's fine. And there's not enough people here to really do a whole lot with. Over here, we have one person not doing something. Housing is a problem, but I don't have the resources right now. Well, I think we can get those resources fairly easily, though, by just getting our wood production up. So we'll do that. All right. So next turn, we should be able to build something over here. And I'm hoping that the population gain over here isn't so explosive that it will be a problem. But I suspect our main town will still have problems as far as that goes. But we'll see. In any case, I think that's enough for this turn. There might be something I'm overlooking, but let's go ahead and turn. But we should be in a good place. I did a lot of buying. We should be in a good place, so I'm going to be able to get 55 knights as long as I can afford it, because it does cost money to raise troops. So... yeah, we're losing people in this region, which is not too surprising, as that place, its happiness is so low compared to the surrounding territory, the only territory. Unfortunately, we also had a bad event happen at the same time, which is 50% less taxes. I can live with that, though, as our income's pretty good. And then we're still getting tutorial stuff. Okay, let's go on over here. There is a mercenary, unfortunately not well timed. That population drop is just going to screw us, because all the people we have here are needed. I'm raising the population, or the happiness, up kind of as fast as I can, but not really, I guess. We could have raised that up by lowering the taxes even more, and considering we have a penalty this turn, I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're up to 250 on wheat. I should look around to see if I have... yeah, so they built this instantly, which is perfect. Population dropped. That's good in this region. I normally wouldn't sound good, but considering that we had to emergency build something, that, you know, that's nice. I'm going to have to think about what I want to do over here, because there's a bunch of stuff I have to do. Over here... so the population's continuing to go up, although somewhat slowly. We probably have enough resources to build a building, perhaps, but I'll hold on that as well. Let's just make sure nothing has changed. Okay, we gained a pop here. Let me remind myself, what all are we doing over here? So we have one cow, we have a field, and we have forestry. I think I'm going to have this person work on this. I think it's going to take a long time, but to get the economy going up even more, I'd like to have this cleared so we can maybe put a field for sheep. Because it puts a lot of strain on the cows to have the sheep as well. And yeah, okay, let's do our army thing first. I think that takes care of a lot of what we might need to do. Okay, so first things first, I want to change the unit type to spearmen, but I want to have it be 116 just like before. Because we didn't change the size of the army, any of this stuff nothing changed here. I would like to increase the number of swordsmen I have, but that will possibly have an effect on what knights we can draw, so I'll hold on that. I also want to change the archers. If I have enough, I should have enough. So we're going to change them to crossbowmen, and there were 76 of them before. And we can't increase them in number, but that would draw population, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. So this would be numbers remaining the same if we did this. We have light armor to spare, so I don't have a problem increasing the number of crossbowmen I have here. So I'm gonna go up to 80. Unless... Hold on. If I'm at 75, I wouldn't have enough. That's fine. 80. Maybe you want to grab peasants because that seems to be the only way to move people from region to region. You mean in my army? I'm okay with it. I don't think I'm gonna... Oh, I see what you're saying. That's actually not a bad idea. That's actually really clever. I didn't really... So you pick up 55 peasants here, and then turn them into 55 knights, which is a very strange order of things, but in theory, you wouldn't draw any populace from the next region you're going to. And considering we have a surplus of people here, although technically we have a surplus of people in the other region as well, that's really not a bad idea. Also, the happiness wouldn't be too much of a problem here. Alright, yeah, let's turn them into people, or it's going to be peasants now, but it will be knights later. Unless, of course, I want to raise the swordsmen. I think I want to raise them by 5, let's say. And then this will be 50 knights. That's like a lot, honestly, but hey. Sounds good to me. We could even raise up more if we wanted to. I don't have a lot of money now, so it wouldn't necessarily be a good idea now, but I could always build. Nah. I'm gonna have 2 turns. So I could build up more swords and stuff. So having more people wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Like, I could switch these guys to swordsmen, and, you know, I could move things around. Again, I have surplus people over there, though, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's just do this. Use the resources we have right now. Oh, before I do anything else, let's see if we have any experience to spend. Alright, so I have 320. Now I can get more cards of a type if I want to. The thing that I'd really like would be this, stakes. Because if a cavalry goes in and attacks a ranged unit, they automatically lose 25% of their men. And considering that cavalry is really good at killing archers, this would be devastating to their cavalry, especially as knights in particular are... I assume this applies to knights as well. The problem is I'd have to unlock a lot of cards to get there. I'm so close to affording it. If this was 10 cheaper, I could go this way. Well, Force March isn't a bad card. Let's pick that up. And then I guess we'll grab the obstacle and we'll have to wait to get enough experience to buy that. Alright, so we'll grab that and that into our deck. Okay, that works for me. This could still be useful, as we can block our flanks with this. So, yeah, that's fine. Alright, I'm happy with that. Yeah, save army. Okay, now we need to start moving them. So, you come to there. So, it's going to be another turn before I'm in this region. So, we do have the opportunity to try and increase the number of knights or swordsmen that we get. So we're going to change the production from light armor. Unless, of course, we just want to get the other group of men turned into crossbowmen, which wouldn't be a bad idea. I think I'm going to aim for that. Because it would be much easier to pull off. I just need 1 turn of armor production. And then maybe a turn of bows, and I can increase how many bows we have. Yeah, that sounds like not a bad idea. Okay, let's get our peasants moved around. So... We're not in a bad spot over here now, as far as everything goes. Let me grab you and put you there. Would like a little bit of iron production, and then I'll put the rest into wood. We definitely need, because we're going to need to build buildings like nowish. Okay, over here, I think I'm pretty happy where people are. I do need to build another building. I'd like it to be a smithy if I could pull it off. What do we need for a smithy? We can do everything except the wood right now. Okay. Let me take a look to see if there's a merchant somewhere that we can take advantage of. Looks like a no. I don't know if you hire a mercenary if you can pick him up somewhere else. It's also possible my army is maxed out as far as size. Let's take a look at that. No, I have one more slot. But we want to... I'm actually curious of that. I mean, I don't have enough money to get the mercenary now, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. We had a person somewhere. Oh yeah, I already assigned him. Okay, so let's take a look at making sure we are min-maxing happiness gain and all that. So I believe we're good to go here. I just need to curb this drop in population that keeps happening here. So we're trying to do that. Here we're fine. Happiness doesn't need to go up, and we're taxing as much as we can. We could increase health by improving the rations, but we are losing both sheep and cows, and I may have to do something about that soon. Okay, and then down here, happiness is pretty good. What's our population like? We are gaining people. And those are probably from the surrounding regions, so I think we can start taxing more heavily here. So we're not going to get a lot of money this turn, but I say we go at least up to normal. Yeah, that works for me. We're still a ways away from worrying about having more housing. And then over here, where housing is a little bit more of a concern. Things seem to be going okay. Double tithe. I don't want to have negative happiness. That would be with triple tithe, so that's fine. And the normal ration. That looks all good, so I think I'm happy with the turn. Let's move on. But yeah, the turn after this one, next one coming, we will be able to add our knights in. And then I don't know where we go. We're going to have to invade somewhere. Well, we don't have to, but we've got a nice sizable army at that point. It's going to be a breeze to walk over and kill some of these less defended regions. Maybe we go after the lord down the bottom. I mean, if he's the economy lord and he's just been building up his economy, going and killing him, we inherit his economy. So that works for me. Okay. So, a couple regions conquered. I'm going to have to take a look at who conquered what, but it looks like Henry continued his conquest, as well as, finally, Bert has got his next region. So, the other lord down here is just not doing much. Henry's seeming to be the scariest of the bunch so far. He will be our greatest opponent. Thankfully, we do have this region here. Not that region. This region here in between us right now, as well as this region. So this is kind of, these two regions are cutting him off. These will be hard for him to take. Now, if he does take them, that's actually going to be hard for us to deal with. As a matter of fact, I'm actually tempted to come in here and take these regions from the AI, in particular this one. Because look at all the buildings here. So they've got a smithy. That's the town center. Ah, okay. I'm not sure which of the garrisons this is. There's a few different types. So a couple different manors. And then they have the castle. So they're going to have a decent garrison here. So I think taking this region, I mean, we're going to have a good army by the time I get my men here. And then it's going to be another couple turns, but let's at least get... Now, I can move straight to here. Now, the question is, on the border, can I actually increase... No. See, I have to actually go to the town, so that's why it's going to take us a little bit more time. Alright. But then we'll be able to move to the border and then over here. When there's a castle, it takes longer to take the region. You have to take the town, and then you have to take the castle. So it's a two-step process. So it takes time. And keeping this alive and letting Henry attack it, there is a certain advantage to, because we could catch him mid-process. Like, if he's taken the town, we can sweep in and take him while he's trying to take the castle. I don't know if that makes us have to do the process, but it is an idea. I don't know if it's a good one, but... Okay, so we've moved our army. Not really anything we can do about building up our army at the moment. Let's switch our production. Do we have a merchant anywhere? No in the north. No in our main town. No over here. We have one here. Okay, so I can hire or buy swords and stuff if I want. All right, let's start off here. I'm going to switch over the production to heavy armor, because heavy armor, I think, is the most expensive out of the bunch. I'm pretty sure it costs more than swords. Okay. So we're going to get 66 there. I might not use all this for knights, but I could use it to bolster our swordsmen, so that, you know, it will be useful no matter what. Okay, so we're good there. I don't really need to move anybody around here that I feel. So I think this region's fine now. Let's go up in the north. How's the population looking? It's getting better, but we're still losing people. So as long as this happiness keeps going up, that will eventually turn around. So you can see the little guys walking. So yeah, not a whole lot we can do there because we just don't have the people. Over here, there was a desire to build something. So as the population just keeps going up and up. Smithy, I think, was the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and build one right here. Maybe... Yeah, that's fine. We'll build it here. So, Smithy, we should have the resources to build. I want the stone production to maintain, but we've started to build up a decent amount. Yeah, I'll maintain that. It's the only region we can do that. What resources are over here? Just wood? No iron or anything? So this is not a good region from a resource perspective. It's just a wheat field, some sheep, and lumber. And then we have one field that we can uncover. But from a defensive standpoint, it'd be really nice to get this. I'm not even sure how much population it has, because he doesn't really have very many peasants out that we see. So it might take some time to build this up, but us drawing constant population from him probably isn't helping his situation. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy. We'll lose some cows as a result. Not sure how much we can afford that, but let's get that going a little faster. As a matter of fact, let's get it done in 2 turns. Okay. Over here, not really anything I can do at the moment, but talk to the merchant. Alright, let's buy a decent number of swords, I guess. Oh, you know what? I was going to switch that to bows. Hold on. This production shouldn't be armor. It should be bows. Yeah. I think turning the crossbowmen... Turning them into crossbowmen and also getting more archers would be more something I'd like to do. But we're still going to talk to this guy and see if we can get more armor and stuff. So Let's do 10 of each. See where we're at that point. Okay. I'm gonna do another 10, probably. This is very expensive to do, but we've got the money, so... I want to have a little bit of money on hand, even though our income is really good, just so maybe we can buy mercenaries at some point. I didn't see a mercenary around. They're never around when you need them. That's fine. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let me just double check on the happiness and everything. We have a good amount. Yeah, you know what? Give me double tithe now from you. You're good. You're more than good. And then you aren't giving me any tithe because we need to get that happiness up. That works for me. Okay. Let's end turn.